Hello once again, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. Well, we are so excited to be able to share a high-end item from Hot Toys, a deluxe item. So excited to open it up. I'm pretty sure anybody who does a lot of ordering through Sideshow and ordering through the Hot Toys and Sideshow knows like probably the figures that come because they kind of come to everybody. Although I do tend to get them a little later, I think, because I don't do everything in one payment. I usually do it like in multiple flex payments. But I do think that they do the flex payment early while the figure's getting created. So I do think they get shipped at the same time. I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm babbling. But before we do this, I have another item I want to share. It's not really an unboxing. I guess you could call it a mini shelf talk, because it's not in a box. It came a while ago, and I completely forgot about it. It's been sitting on my desk of all places, and I wanted to share it with you. This is a vintage item, and I'll get some close-ups of it. This is the Biker Scout toy pistol from Return of the Jedi. Came out in the 80s, or early 80s, 83, 84. Okay, you'll see when I give you close-ups, it's got the Return of the Jedi sticker on it. Okay, it does not work. It is an electronic gun. It has a battery pack and everything, and the battery pack didn't work. I used to own this, and I unfortunately got a lot of use out of it. And I think there was a time when I was in my youth and I was young and stupid. And when I say young and stupid, I didn't do things like get excessively drunk or anything of that nature. No, that wasn't my young and stupid. My young and stupid was getting rid of some of my old Star Wars toys and other toys for that matter. I've gotten rid of G.I. Joe toys and Transformers and other things. I don't like to talk about it. It's a dark moment in my history. But most of my Star Wars toys managed to be saved. I did not get rid of most of them. But this one, for some reason, I got rid of it. So I found it on eBay. And let me say something. Let me say this about eBay. If you're a collector and you're looking for, trying to start building up a vintage collection, you really can't do any better than eBay as of right now, I find. Now, it's true that, there's a lot of people trying to make a lot of money on eBay, and therefore they're trying to sell items for much cheaper. But if you're patient and you do your homework, and you look around and you set it up right to notify you when things come get listed, you can really end up doing quite well finding vintage items. Now, granted, this is a used played item. Okay, obviously doesn't work, but I'm going to tell you something. If you want to build up a vintage collection, look for damaged items. Okay, damaged and incomplete and things of that nature. You can build up and piece together full collections of things. Don't be afraid of reproductions, reproduce weapons. If you're just trying to get a vintage item just for the thrill of having a vintage item, there's a lot of ways to do it. So look for eBay, okay? Because you can also go to toy shows and Comic Cons and things like that. There's a lot of vendors, and if you do that, that's great. But if you go there, you want to do some bundling. You want to go in and walk in with like 5 or 6, find 5 or 6 items and add up all of how much everything costs, and then like try to offer a cheaper amount. And you want to go towards the end of the con or the end of the show or the convention when they are getting ready to pack up. Those are like some little highlights. And you know what? I'll try to get to a toy show or a Comic Con and do a video of that. But here we go. This is our Biker Scout thing. I always loved the Biker Scout pistol. I love the Han Solo blaster. I think the original Kenner guns were the Han Solo blaster, the Stormtrooper pistol, and this. Of course, a couple of lightsabers. Some of them were blow-up inflatable ones. Some of them were just plastic, kind of hollow tubes that when you waved them, they made a whirring sound. And then this was one of the other weapons. So pretty cool. I like that how now the weapons look more like the weapon, aside from this little orange piece in the front. They look like the weapon. So really cool. Again, I'll insert some close-up shots if I didn't already, and you get a good look at it. It's really cool. And when you look through it, it has I don't know if I'll be able to show you this, but if you look through it, it has like a kind of a rose-colored like viewfinder, so it's a little different. So that's kind of cool. All right, so Biker Scout pistol, really cool. Nice add. I'll add it to the collection. I have a little arsenal of toy guns and lightsabers, which I'll show on a shelf talk. Maybe I'll do that as the next shelf talk. Okay, but I know what everyone's here for. You're here for this. So let's do this. What is this? It says SW8 LS Deluxe. LS. Could that be Luke Skywalker, perhaps? Well, let's take a look. Okay, and I know 2019 is or I should say 2018 was a very, shall we say, divisive year among fans because of the Star Wars Episode 8 movie. I have still enjoyed that movie. I still proudly call myself a fan of that movie. But I also want to say that if someone didn't like that movie, that's perfectly cool. That's great. I mean, and you can give me all the reasons in the world why you didn't like it. I don't think you're wrong for not liking that movie. I don't think it's just my own opinion, and it is your opinion, and they don't have to agree, and we can still both be Star Wars fans, and it's all good. Okay? People want to know what I like about it. I am not. How do I describe this? I mean, Star Wars has to have certain things for me to love it. It's got to have action. It's got to have some humor. It's got to have cool visuals. It's got to have awesome music. Okay? It's got to have a story that I can follow. It's got to have some tension and resolution. Okay? It's got to have some emotional parts. And it's got to have things that I know are going to be action figures, because I'm also a collector. Last Jedi hit the ticks on all of that for me. Now, people argue about the Canto Bight scene. Oh, it wasn't really needed. Okay, I can concede that. I don't know if it was really needed. Although I would argue that when you look at the very end of the movie, you know, with the little kid holding up the broomstick like it's a lightsaber, that would have been that. I think that scene would have fallen flat at the end had we not had the whole Canto Bight scene. I also like the character of DJ. I also like the fact that DJ was not predictable. I don't think people expected DJ to be what DJ was. And I think you kind of needed that whole scene for that to happen. Could it have happened another way? Sure. All right, fine. I'm not saying that there's not another way this movie could have happened. You know, I liked that the Resistance was down to a handful of people by the end. I think that that's a different way of telling the story, a different Star Wars story that we haven't already seen. And I liked that. And yeah, I understand. You know, people call Mary Poppins Leia when she was floating in the thing. All right, you know what? Okay, I admit that was a little bit. That took me out for a moment. But then again, I like Mary Poppins, so it took me into Mary Poppins for a minute, which is another movie franchise that I enjoy. So there we go. So anyway, enough talk about that. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Okay, if you didn't like Last Jedi, if you didn't like parts of Last Jedi, it's all good. It's cool. Feel free to share with me your comments. I told you the basic checklist that I needed for me to like that movie. I am pretty sure that I'm going to like the episode 9, because I'm sure they're going to tick all those boxes and we'll be good to go. But if you didn't like it, or if you don't like the next movies, or you didn't like Solo, or whatever the reason, whatever things you like or dislike, it's all good. All right, and share with me why. It's fine. All right. But what do we got here? It's hard to see, but this is Luke Skywalker from the island. It's not the ceremonial garb Luke Skywalker. No. This is the kind of some would call him the sea calf milking, fishing Luke Skywalker. Pretty cool. Very nice looking thing. I'm a little weirded out by the hair. You know that the hair is very plasticky, but I guess that's kind of how they work. So I thought this was interesting to see Luke Skywalker with a lightsaber. Never once held it, except in the very beginning of the movie when he flipped it over his shoulder. A scene I enjoyed, by the way, because I never expected that. But to see, I will say that I would have liked to have seen Luke with a lightsaber, and we did get to see it at the end, even though it was a projected image. But we did get to see that. I hope that Sideshow does release that Luke Skywalker. I know that I think they were talking about it. I think they're planning on it. I'm definitely going to get that one. It'll be kind of my I'll have like a quad of Luke. So I'll have the Jedi Luke, maybe even 5 or 6 if you include. I don't know if I have the original Luke Skywalker from Tatooine, but I know I have the Bespin Luke. I have the Jedi from Return of the Jedi Luke. I have the Luke from Force Awakens, beginning of Last Jedi, and now this one. So let's see what we got here. This, I mean, again, Hot Toys just does an amazing job. Look at this. I mean, this is one series that the photos are just gorgeous. They are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you cannot in any way, look at this. Look at the beauty of this. Just great, just fantastic. And they don't need this. This is not necessary. I mean, it's a little protector, but, that's neat. Okay, put that down. Actually, I'm going to put these two down over here. All right, so it looks like we got lots of peripherals here. So I'm going to have to take down a few things one at a time here. We've got a tray. This tray includes a couple of different hands. A couple of different glove positions, a whole set of tools, like a whole literal set of 6 tools, which is crazy, and a really awesome backpack, okay, and a satchel, okay, like a little backpack satchel. All right, so that is awesome. Let's see what we got here. Oh, looks like Luke comes with a porg too, which is kind of fun. Let me put this over here, and I'll get some shots of the boxes and everything else too. And again, all of Sideshow and Hot Toys typically come with multiple. They come with multiple, hands and for different gripping things and different tools and different weapons and different things like that. I just usually just pick something and run with it. Let's first take out the porg, since that's like pretty easy. This might be my first Hot Toy porg. I need to actually wire. I always have to be careful. Oh my goodness, look at that. Again, a little close up of him. Okay, a little porg. So cute. All right, there you go. And again, hopefully when my talking, you'll see the porg. Okay, and then we've got another set. We have a lightsaber. Looks like it's the original Luke Skywalker white lightsaber. His stick. I think that thing that he used the Force and grabbed when he had a little quick spat with Rey. It looks like he's got a couple of items that are, I think his little map, his little compass map, things of that nature. So we'll pick and choose what we want to have with that. Of course, he's got his cloak. Looks like a one-armed shoulder cloak. So that's interesting. Okay. And then we have Luke himself. All right. There we go. And again, this is I keep these packages, simply because I'm not going to have everything. Ooh. Okay, come on, Luke. Trying to get. Sometimes they make his plastic a little bit hard to. So I kind of have to. Not exactly sure. Oh, I see what it is. So in addition to everything else you have to have ready, is to open up these things. A pair of scissors, which I ironically don't have, are probably a good idea. I'm using a box cutter just because I don't want to edit out. There we go. And he's got a little belt, or not belts, but there we go. All right, so. And again, the figure comes pretty much assembled. You could, if you wanted. Oh, this is funny. He's got tape around his boots. I'm not exactly sure why he needs that, but okay. These are cool. I enjoyed the Luke's, the look of Luke in Last Jedi. I thought that it was I'm glad he wasn't running around in that ceremonial garb the entire time. I didn't notice that as ceremonial garb. I just thought of it as another kind of Obi-Wan Kenobi-like look. But it definitely did. When you look at it more closely, it definitely felt almost like a priest would wear. Just vestments, that kind of thing. And I just didn't feel that was something he was going to be able to have for the entire time. Ooh. Okay, Luke, stay where you are. And of course, we have our stand. Our Luke Skywalker plate, and you have the option of having either, is this a label? I don't know if this is like one or the other, but I can't tell if this is a label or if this is a, let's going to take a quick peek at this. I don't know. Oh, yeah, it's a label. Well, I'm going to go with, I'm going to do the au natural version of the label, just because I feel like that is a better look for it. This other one, I don't know, it seems a little bit too, it's like a red, you know, it's like that famous red look. I suppose if you want, I don't know if these come off, but I'm not going to bother with it because it works that way for me. Okay, his little stand. Again, this is just a way it goes, you know, just kind of keeps him in a forward position, you know, to worry about it. All right. So there we go. Enough of that. All right. Now, what stuff shall we use for this? All right. Well, and again, I'll be inserting close-ups and stuff all throughout this. I'm going to actually I need access to, excuse me there, K2SO. I'm going to access this little picture just because I want to. Looks like I don't really know which way. It's not really it's really just a. This is a challenge. I mean, I don't know which way to. It doesn't really say. Doesn't give you and it doesn't really give you a way to do this. If I put the arm up and I put it up like this, I guess that's all right. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay. I'm gonna give him his full out camping gear or whatever, you know, for when he goes for his walks. Now, in terms of his hands, yeah, they always do this. I'm going to give him grip hands just because the grip hands, you know, you want to have him holding stuff. It seems silly to have him go through this and not hold stuff. Okay, now hopefully I will say the last one I did, they were a little better. Think? Nope. Oh, Luke. Luke, say it isn't so, Luke. Oh my goodness. Well, hopefully that's enough. That's my only complaint, Sideshow and Hot Toys, is that you do not make hand changing easy. You do not. Shame on you. This one should be easier because he doesn't have the whole glove on. Yeah, see, that one was easier. All right, so put back on his. Oh, I see. Okay, and then it looks like you can snap these, but I don't know if there is a. Put these back. Is there a way to? Yeah, I can't really tell if there's a way to snap them. I'm just going to kind of wrap it around like this. Okay, and then, all right. So I'm not going to worry about. Oh, he's got give him his satchel. Okay. It's so funny how we have become this day and age of these Hot Toys have essentially become Barbie dolls, you know, with all the accessories. I'm going to do that so he's able to keep the cloak on. Okay, that might not be fully accurate, and to those who noticed that, I apologize. Certainly not my intent. Okay, then he's got his backpack with his little blue milk drink. Okay, and let's do this. Now, I appreciate Sideshow and Hot Toys. I appreciate all the accessories that you give. I very much do. But I gotta tell you, I'm not putting those tools out because those things will fall off, and I have a cat, and that cat's gonna eat them faster than anything you'd ever want to know. So, all right. So there we go. Cool. All right. So we've got most of our accessories. There is, of course, what are we going to put in his hands? And I want to go through that. We've got a few things here. Am I going to give him his lightsaber? That's the big thing. Am I going to give him the lightsaber? And I think the answer to that is no. I am not going to give him the lightsaber. And I'll tell you why. Because I feel as though giving him a lightsaber is not accurate when it comes to this Luke Skywalker character. He only held that thing once, and he threw it over his shoulder. And on top of that, when he does have the lightsaber in the Force projection, he is not dressed like this. He looks like the Luke from the Vision. So we'll give him the walking stick. We'll give him the other stick so that he can fight. There he goes. All right. Luke Skywalker. Awesome sculpt. Ooh, let's put his little porg here next to him so we know that porg is part. Put him over on this side. All right. And again, I'll be inserting photos and all sorts of stuff throughout so you can get much better close-up looks, okay? Again, never had a problem with, people ask me, is there anything you would have done differently about The Last Jedi? Is there anything that you don't like? And I don't even like to go as harshly and say I don't like. The most I would do is say where there are things I would have liked to have seen differently. I've said this on previous episodes. The Luke that I had in my head matched up very closely to this Luke. And maybe that's why I was not a hater or a complainer or someone who feels like Star Wars was ruined. I really felt like this is the journey that Luke would have taken. I really do. Luke was very self-sacrificing at the end of Return of the Jedi. He was first movie he was all about get off the farm and power converters and I'm just isn't fair. Whiny little teenager, right? Maybe because I work with teenagers and my day job, that I kind of see that as being very normal. And then the next one, he was kind of transitioning from being a whiny teenager to being an adult who's got some real adult problems. Most notably, he found out that his biological father was a mass murderer, okay, and a horrible, more machine now than man type of person. And then in Jedi, he takes a whole Zen approach. He's more calm. He's more at peace. Everything he's doing is cool and calculated and planned. He almost feels like he's going to be a villain. He's not evil. He's very subdued and calm. And as soon as he sensed when they're going to Endor that Vader was nearby, he's saying right then, I should remove myself. I should get rid of myself here. I am endangering the mission. I shouldn't have come. As long as I'm here, I'm endangering the group and their mission here. All this dialogue showed that he had to leave. He had to get himself away because he wanted to put the needs of the group above his own. And that is why he escaped from that. Fast forward 30 years, he said there was peace for a while, but, and he wanted to try to train Han and Leia's child, okay, Ben, but he was, in his hubris, as he said, he felt that he thought he could do it, and things happened. He started to sense that there was darkness in him. He didn't, but he didn't even realize until he really poked at him, in the middle of training as he's in the temple, and he realizes that this young man is too far gone. He's too evil. He's got too much hatred, too much frightened, fear and all sorts of emotions, negative, not Jedi-like emotions. And for a brief moment, Luke thought he might need to end him. And then he didn't, but it was too late. Now Kylo Ren saw what he was about to do, or Ben saw it and became Kylo Ren. and never ever forgave Luke for that and turned to the dark side. So Luke, in trying to almost do the evil thing that he needed to do to bring balance in the universe, chose not to, but it was a consequence, as he said. What does that do to a person? What would that do to you? What would that do to me? I don't know. I can't. I'd have to be faced with it. But I would imagine that if Luke was already willing to remove himself from the situation, guess what? That's going to happen tenfold. If he now feels that the Jedi are part of the problem, and he says he needs to remove himself from the situation, and now he means the universe. So he goes to the most unfindable place to live out his life. He's the last of the Jedi. He wants to end the Jedi, and then hopefully there would be new hope, a rise in a different type of light. Not the Jedi, but something else. That was his thought. Now, was he right? Was he wrong? Well, Yoda kind of bopped him on the head and said, get your mind out of there, out of yourself, and see that we need to help these people. You need to help these people. So he came back. He was flawed. And maybe that's what some fans were upset about. But this Luke makes sense to me. Okay? It makes sense to me because otherwise you don't have a story. You just have a good guy who's never bad, who never makes mistakes. It's like the Superman syndrome. You need a little bit of kryptonite. You need something to challenge the hero, okay, if you want to have a story. And that's what I believe they did. And he's coming back in some form or another. I was hoping he would. And he's coming back for episode 9, I'm hoping. So whether that's a ghost or whatever, I'm happy. I'd like to see some bit of resolution. That'd be great. So, but this figure will stand proudly among my Lukes. In fact, I'm really thinking now that since Luke Skywalker truly is my favorite character, I want to have kind of a Luke Skywalker through the years evolution, if you will, and maybe put together a little set of an area on a display eventually. I will wait to work on that until the final Luke, unless there's a new Luke coming from episode 9. But the Force Projection Luke, once that comes, we will be good to go. So that'll do it for this somewhat lengthy. I'm sorry I rambled a little bit, but some of my episodes have been pretty short, so this is a bit of a long one. Great figure, all right, great added accessories. You can do all sorts of different poses with it. Again, Hot Toys and Sideshow, beautiful done, beautiful as always. And I can't wait to see what else you get. I do not get all of Sideshow and Hot Toys Star Wars items. I just can't afford it. It's just simply not something that we do. And I have not yet done something like starting a Patreon or anything of that nature. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to go down that road. I've always felt that this is just a hobby, and it's just a free way for me to share my love for Star Wars and unboxing some cool Star Wars toys with anybody who's interested in watching. Okay, but I do pick and choose items as they come out. So hopefully, there are some that are on order, and they'll come in every couple of months. We get a couple, so there'll be new episodes with higher end items like this, along with some stuff from Gentle Giant, and they'll be coming up. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button, hit the subscribe button. And the more subscribers we have, the better off we have. Our subscriber winner from a few episodes ago, check out the first episode of the year, still hasn't gotten back to me. So I'm going to give it till the end of January, and then I'm going to reopen up the floodgates and have another giveaway, maybe a double giveaway with something else in addition to our Sabine Stormtrooper 2-pack. So thank you so much for watching. Check out Instagram and Twitter at Darth Tuba, Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing page on Facebook, and email me, darthtuba77@gmail.com, or leave comments if you have any questions, comments, things you want to let me know about. And thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Oop, he's going to fall over. May the Force be with you. Hello again, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. I had one correction. I forgot that these figures do come with an instruction sheet. It's a little hard to, it's hard to catch them. They're kind of taped to the bottom side of the box. But I did notice that this poncho actually does fit, not on his arm, but rather on, you have to pop his head off at the socket, and then you put it down through there. So when you do that, you can see how it kind of aligns itself. So that's a much better thing. So I just wanted to get that correction in there before people started emailing me or leaving comments. But there you go. That is the proper ponchoed Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi.